One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Mike, check, 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 check. Yeah, let's do this. Finally. We're buffering there right at the intro. Luckily, got reconnected. Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2 mic check. Yeah, we're live at Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop. Your boy BD on duty. We're holding it down. They're about to have a space launch, I believe. Let's see if we could check this out. Greetings to everyone tapping in. See Jonasai Chi, Roger. Thank you for your message earlier, Roger. I've seen that. Yeah, how's everyone's Tuesday? How was the weekend? Everyone have a great Memorial weekend. Let's see where you at. Here we go. All right. Looks like SpaceX about to launch here. Hear you loud and clear. Roger that. Right on. What up, Gerald? Yeah, Tuesday. It was a wild weekend as ever, right? Always wild out here. I'm sure it's wild where you are. Wild in the city, wild in the woods. What's up, Judy? And we got Fox, I believe Fox, CBS, several of the news stations are live streaming this launch, and I'm sure you could check it out on SpaceX's website. And they're calling this, what is it, the 9th? Got to pay attention to those titles they give. What up, Juanito? SpaceX launching Starship for 9th test flight. That's what's popping off here. And yeah, we'll take a look and see how that goes. They've had a couple dud launches recently, right? There was like a couple back to back. What happened back then? Those things like disintegrated in midair. I think Gerald and Jane might have captured one of those, possibly. Seemed like a couple cases where that happened. The thing just. See, we could pull up. How did it sound again? Yeah, I thought it was gonna go live yesterday. Had the day off, thankfully. Enjoyed it, but it flew right by. And I was ready to hang out with everyone, but it did not go down like that. And I seen Midwest Night Watchers. We're gonna have Gonzo on. That didn't pan out. Y'all should have hit me up. I would have been ready to go. Just know that anytime you ever have a guest not come through, and if it's possible, hey, hit me up. I'd be more than glad. to come on through. And we've done that before, where it was like last minute. Hey, can you jump on and hang out, chop it up with us? Yes, we could, and it works out. Anyway, what else is going on out there? Speed chases have not stopped out here in the SoCal area. It was a deadly one this weekend. Yeah, we might check that out later. I do have the lock on the shop just in case. I didn't want anyone just walking in here. There's Gustavo. Bienvenidos, Gustavo. Yeah, any exciting happenings this weekend for anyone? I'm trying to think of the highlights. Oh, yeah, there's so this weekend, some of you might have joined, but they nearly they were trying to burn the city down. Who is it? The band's called Dead City Punks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Their name popped up. And we've had a couple punk shows here at the asylum. And yeah, with that scene, it's it could be crazy. Even here, the ones at the asylum, I think someone punched a hole in the wall here. I'm sure someone probably patched that up. But yeah, it comes with the territory. But anyway, this weekend it was just something else, mayhem. And I guess the mayor is wanting to know who's responsible and is going to pursue all those involved. But yeah, if you don't know, I don't know. I'm sure it probably made national news. But yeah, they were wrecking some of the train systems, vandalizing businesses. There was fights, I'm sure, rubber bullets flying. And when was that? Was that Saturday? That was Saturday night, I think. Fireworks, you name it. Nos tanks and balloons and spray paint. It was crazy. Ross Larry, bless up, King. Welcome on in. Yeah, let's see. We're at T minus. I think we're getting ready to go here. Surprised no one's put any rocket emojis, the special little YouTube ones. You guys know which one. They got a rocket with the 1, 2, 3 on it. Who's ready for blast off? Actually, I was ready about 15 minutes ago. A little past 4:20 here at Sky's the Limit Smoke Shop. Bless up, everyone. And we're going to hang out a little bit, maybe get into some of the things. Yeah, there's new Bigfoot reports. Could touch on that. Boom. So I'm DJing here. As you can hear, we're having music play in the background a little bit. Excuse me. But I got to watch out for these ads on Spotify. So yeah, how's it going, y'all? I've been hearing about some new Dogman therm footage. Anyone hear about that? Yeah, Dogman on thermal. I don't know where everyone's seeing this, but I'd like to check it out. And I hear it's a female, and I've heard from two sources. This was both yesterday. Yeah, on thermal imaging. And I hear they used AGM Speaking of AGM, we've gotten some of their new gadgets as well. Some of it we've put to the test in the field already. We've gotten some interesting results. But yeah, they got a whole array of all different types of thermals if you check them out. I think they have a YouTube channel also. And I know there's other channels that do reviews on their products. A lot of it thermal imaging. And it looks like they've launched already. Are we behind here? Damn it. Give me a second. Let's see. We missed the launch, y'all. We're way behind. There. We got some boosters going. That's how it goes. I'm telling you, this rocket launched at about 4:20. So here we go. Off we are. 599 in the house. Taco Tuesday. Let's see those emoji tacos. I still don't see. Oh, there, I see some rockets now, but not that YouTube one I'm telling you about. You guys know about those extra little YouTube emojis, right? That here I got to read them. Unfortunately, I can't see them. What's up, Riverside? You gotta. And let's see. I don't know what happened with my effects. Let's see. Is it left hand? Could we get some effects on the screen? Yes, we could. Boom. Let's hit that thumbs up. Might as well. Is that what that means there? Did you see it? Did everyone see the thumbs up there? Go ahead and smash it. Don't be shy. It's free. And good karma for you. Woo! Look at that. All right. Looking pretty flat down there. What do you think? Boing. Off the firmament. Boing. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Edit. We're switching cameras. Let's see. Speed 4,715 miles an hour. Altitude 63.64 there. Up to 65, 66. Keep an eye out for any anomalies, any fast movers, UFOs, USOs, UAPs, ABCs, and 123s. And all right, this track's about to end. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Yep, PJ. And I'm watching that mute button. Let's see if we cut to commercial here. What up? What up? Flying Foxes, bro. Welcome on in. And speaking of mysterious flying objects, y'all check out Latchkey Hustle's latest post. Yeah, he had messaged me. He was like, man, I've been busy. And we know that everyone's been busy. And he's like, yeah, I haven't been able to really drop anything. And before I knew it, there was something posted. So he got to it. And it's awesome breakdown, like always. Maybe let's see who's hot with the links. Talking Latchkey Hustle. Lavera Lucchini, hola. Cheers, Lavera. Welcome in. Oh, is Latchkey in? Is he in here? Did we summon him? Yeah, he's up in here, y'all. Yeah, Latch, go ahead and post that video there. It was an awesome video. And it should have many views. I was seeing there was someone over on Instagram that was at the latest SoCal Air Show, I guess it was. We had gone, 2 years ago now, maybe? Got some footage from there, awesome jets and checking all that stuff out. But also keeping an eye out for these strange objects. And of course, they showed up there. March Air Force Base. What's that, in Riverside, California? And yeah, so I seen a latest post on Instagram. Someone was at the, I believe it was the SoCal Air Show, also at March Air Force Base, and they recorded some of these objects, like fast movers to me. And we'll have to, do we still have to break down for folks what fast movers are, or dragon UFOs? I always feel the need to, and we might, but yeah, that Instagram over there had like over 10K views on it, and yeah, people were loving it. And I was just like, man, it'd be nice to get some views like that on some of our videos over here, right? Latch and Midwest and BD, but it's all good. It's like that when you're underground, you know, underground scene. Hey, of course, my background when it was buffering during the intro here, we'll see how that dropped. Wah, wah, wah. Uh, it threw my default background, but it's all good. I like that one too. Yeah, we're just chilling, y'all, watching this here. Bigfoot reports have been added to Bigfoot mapping project and the BFRO. Not sure if anyone's caught that. Those were submitted yesterday. I'm sure someone with some experiences had some time off and some extra time to submit those reports. Yeah, so we'll hopefully get into that. Hopefully bro pops up. It's always kind of could be a little nerve-wracking when you're solo at the shop. And I did, like I said, I locked the door this time. Some of you seen what happened on the other live stream when we were at the shop, had some unwelcome guests. Yeah, it happens. Anyway, so what's the deal here? Are we up in space now? Have we broke through the firmament? Are we still flying? Ooh, Judy. Ooh, Judy dropped the link there. Boom. There it is. Much appreciated there, Julie. Judy. Julie. Judy. Where's Juliana? And thank you, Juliana. I received your emails finally. Took forever. And let's see if we summoned her. What else is popping out there, y'all? Whoa, what's that there? Blasting off some more fuel. We burning some rocket fuel there. Anyone having tacos today? Yeah. I see Genocide's throwing them up. Judy, what is your favorite taco? I had a gnarly burrito the other day. The other day. Oh, I was just kind of thinking about it right now. Making my mouth water here. And yes, I do have the munchies already. And I do have a little snack and my mud coffee. So cheers, everyone. Yeah, anyone else out there on the mud coffee? Mushroom coffee.
Smoochy, 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 smoochy.
Whoa. Yeah, what else? Let's see. Bigfoot news. There was something that was standing out. Oh, yeah, we got someone here. All right. Here we go, y'all. Got a customer. Y'all hang tight, and this is how we're gonna do it. All right, we're leaving the door open. And what happened to my music here? Oh, of course, left the volume down. Come on, DJ. Telling you. Multitasking here is not easy. Thank you, camera. Whew. And it's been a busy one all day. Been running around, ran some errands, had a few things done outside of the shop. So been in and out, in and out. Bro came in really quick. He split to handle his other duties. And so, yeah, busy, back to it. I'm sure everyone's like that. Back to Tuesday, back to business, right? And so, yeah, it wasn't too long. What was that? About a minute or so. Gustavo throwing up empanadas because he don't do tacos. Yeah, he's in Argentina, folks. Gustavo, en Argentina se puede encontrar tacos. Can you find tacos in Argentina? I don't think so. There's kind of a rivalry between Argentina and Mexico due to football. There's a thing between us, and like lots of other football teams and countries and all that. Uh, so yeah, I don't think they would. I don't know if they're fond of tacos out that way. Maybe there might be a crazy Mexican out there serving tacos. And thank you to Fox there for letting us tap into the stream. Yeah, I'm curious about that. Yes, he says yes. And that's a yes to what? Yes, si se puede encontrar tacos. Can you find tacos? Or no, we don't. Or yes, we don't. They something just flew up. You seen something there? All right. Timestamp it. I'm sure Latchkey is. He's probably looking at it with those eagle eyes. There it is. Do you have a timestamp, John aside? Where are the timestampers at? And I know some of you are pretty active with that stuff. I feel people back in the day were doing a lot more of that, seemed like. But at the same time, no, you got Latchkey looking into other videos and stuff too, not only his own stuff, which is cool. What else? Yeah, the doc does it. Yeah, quite a few people do it. But it's awesome that you have your own stuff too. I think that's That's just epic right there. Epic stuff. Tyler 420, roll them up, bro. We at the smoke shop. What papers do you use papers, Tyler? Or are you do you use a device of some sort? I think Tyler does it all, if you ask me. Yeah, Google it. There's the Insta. What up, Instagram? Anyone watching us over there? I wonder. I wonder about like Twitch, TikTok. We're almost at 9K, y'all. We're at 89999, and then it dropped one, so we were almost there. So we need 2 more followers. We would appreciate 2 more followers over on TikTok to get us over to 9K. Yeah.
9K. 9K.
So yeah, any word on this thermal footage, dog man or dog woman? How do we do it? Dog man woman. And I heard she got tatas. Oh, what is it? Makes me want to have 3 hands. What movie's that? Oh yeah. Yeah, I would imagine it'd be more than 2. Would the dog woman have more than 2 tatas? It's the proper way to call those things. And I heard there was possibly little ones. There was mention of little ones as well. So it's female. It's on thermal, and it's got little ones. And yesterday, it was actually there's been 3 sources I think I heard it from. So I'd like to check it out. Anyone got a link for that? Is that over on YouTube? I mean, on Facebook? Is it on YouTube yet? Or is it a TikTok? How do we get to see the latest Dog Man or Dog Man woman thermal footage? Migraine today. For real, genocide? Damn. Hey, maybe some of those gel caps. You know, sometimes you gotta resource to, unless you have, for migraine. I don't know if is there like a holistic way to get rid of a migraine? I know there's stuff out there, but does that stuff really work? A lot of times when I get a real bad headache, I just resort to the stuff that's available most places, like a Advil or something like that. But yeah, I don't know, maybe you have something special for it. But yeah, what do you do for like is there a remedy for really bad migraines out there that anyone does for themselves? What's up, Michael? That's a little Discord message there. Hardly get up. That's like other people. And I know even those other people got big followings, and even on their Discord, they're like questioning whether they should keep it or not. And it's yeah, hard to stay pretty active with all those different little platforms and stuff like that. Yeah, so anyone peep the madness. LA. Getting a message here. Let's see. Oh, right on. Look, we got a breakdown already. And I don't know if we're should we show that or not, but we already got the breakdown. And see, this is what I like, and this is what it's about. We're over here live streaming. We're into these topics that we're into. And Jonocide got a timestamp. We seen this launch a few minutes ago. And then Latchkey doing his thing, did a little breakdown really quick. And I just got messaged the timestamp footage here, and I do see an object going by. So, welcome in. Look who we got here. Cheers, cheers. How about a wood knock for the Bigfoot influencers? Yeah, I think we could show this, right? We don't need anyone's permission and a thank you to Jonocide and Latchkey Hustle for this. Let's see if we could get this going. Uh-oh. Let's see. I'll just go ahead and download it to my phone. All right, camera, work with me. Let's see, where's it play? All right. Here we go. I'll get my hand out of the way. Something's going to fly by there. Keep an eye out. Probably can't even see it. Anyway, we'll be sharing this. All right, let me zoom in. Oh, yeah, there you go. Watch. Towards the top, like that. There it goes. One more time. One more gain. One more gain. Pew! Now you can see that. Good catch, guys. Yeah. And we could share that footage. However, whoever wants to would like to repost that Latchkey, if you want to use that. We don't know what it is, but it's an anomaly, possibly. It could be, we've noticed during the Falcon 9 SpaceX rocket launches, there's I guess, what is it, the extra boosters that go off. So it's like these orbs that look just like orbs that shoot out of the rocket, and they kind of hang out for a bit, and they're supposedly landing in the ocean, I would imagine. And you'll see those at the tail end of the rocket launches. So a lot of people at first, when I first seen them and didn't know what they were, I was like, oh, we got some orbs there, maybe. I thought some other objects were pulling up and checking out the rocket launch, but no, booster rockets, they say. But yeah, we'll be checking that out. And again, thank you. I love that. And so that kind of leads me into these live streams, I guess you could say. Hey, these live streams that I've been getting into. So I've been pulling up different cameras in places of interest and been checking them out for any type of weirdness like that. And yeah, even, of course, checking for potential dangers like fires and stuff like that. Things are heating up. Like today, it seems like it was all so-called overcast. And so we're in the funk in the AM, and then it burns off or does whatever it does. And it's like they turn the oven up. Luckily, there's a cool breeze outside, so it's not too bad. But if you stay in one spot, you'll start to slowly cook. And so things heating up out here in the Southland. I see a car pulling up. All right. And so these live cams, some of them, you've seen it, some of you that have been hanging out lately. Let's see, we could pull one up here, for example. Oh, so Latchkey Hustle and the rest of y'all, the rest of the gang, latching y'all, latching the gang. uh, I recently shared this channel. Also, I'll put it like this so you could check out the name of the channel, and of course my here. There we go. Let me move my. All right, so it's airline videos, and this is out of LAX, 24/7 LAX airport action runways, and this is 24L and 24R live plane spotting with ATC. And so yeah, I subscribe to the channel, thumbs up there, and it's really cool footage. You can see, because we use airplanes, or you could use airplanes as targets, just like we did with the rocket. We were expecting something to go by, because we know that a lot of times these objects tend to go by things that are in the sky. And so this is a good way to practice, or to be able to spot, live objects, and LAX being a hotspot for, of course, I stopped sharing there, for anomalies, UFOs, UAPs, USOs. What do you call them? Here we go. Let's see. Let's check out a little of this airport action so you could see what the channel is about. Oh, whoops. Let me pop the big window up for you. There we go. So yeah, you'll see eventually there's a view of LAX. And we usually do get a view of LAX. Sometimes we check out Fox's SoCal live cams, and they got a LAX Ontario Airport, SoCal, Ontario, not Canada. And they have the cam up on Mount Wilson, which I like a whole lot. And then what's the other one? Catalina Island and Santa Monica. And so we get a view of the airport there. But right now it should, there we go. There's a runway. And let's see if we see a landing or a departure. And very good quality. This is from the Hyatt Hotel, I believe. And there's these guys that also, I guess they go on areas where they're allowed, but very close to the runways. And they do actual live streams, like this guy's channel. He's using the hotel somehow to stream. But he does also, I guess you would say, boots on the ground. He gets on the ground there with his boots on and his gear, and they record and how would you say, yeah, report on flights coming in and out. And yeah, it's super interesting. So good way to spot these objects. Let's see here. There's another angle that they go on. I don't know if this is the particular runway here. There we go. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. And so some of you, most of you, should know what to look for. Just like Jonaside spotted that earlier. Freaky Amanda, welcome on in. Thank you for coming by. And let's see here. See, the skies are still looking murky out there. Not too good visibility. And that's due to the funk. That funk they be spraying. All right. So, yeah, there's several other channels also doing this. Of course, Algorithm started sending me a bunch of other channels that are doing similar stuff here in the state, and I think maybe I've seen one in another country also. Yeah, keep an eye out here. And so these flights, the ones that are landing, I'm imagining are the ones that are coming over the shop here. So I could go outside and look at some of these planes and then come in here. I'll see them fly by. Oh, yeah, there goes the graffiti too. So look at that. How'd them dudes get up in there? Oh, wow. When I seen that, I was like, oh, gosh. That's, yeah, graffiti's gotten into a whole other level, folks. They're up in your airports too. I'm glad that pulled up. I was talking about a runway that was gonna have some art on it. And it's not the best stuff, but I'm sure you're probably under a lot of pressure if you're in there painting. You gotta sneak in and sneak out somehow. I don't know how they do it. Maybe someone had passes and uniforms or something. I could see something like that happening. And these days the guys, we've talked about this before. The heavens, those are spots that guys do that are way up and are dangerous and deadly. And that's why they call them heavens, because if you fall, you're probably, hopefully, going to heaven. And so, but nowadays the thing is the rappelling. Now they're rappelling off of buildings, which is like, oh man, I hope you're highly experienced in rappelling. Because you don't want random kids going up there and trying this stuff and not knowing what they're doing. And then you have accidents happening. So, but that's been the thing with that, just with like skateboarding, always pushing the envelope, and there's women involved with girls, ladies that are in the whole scene. Some really good ones, even back in the day, but a lot more nowadays than ever, I think. And it's going on, commercially. Now there's like little things, little pads made for like doing graffiti, like digital graffiti and stuff like that, and different little things, train carts you could paint. And that's cool too. I'm with it. Although a lot of the street guys may not agree with it. They're like, oh yeah, keep it underground, keep it raw, keep it illegal, and all that stuff. Here comes an incoming. Keep another eye out here for something. Maybe we might get another timestamp. Heads up. Let's see. I gotta learn how to read these flights. Let's see. Is that a Delta? Looks like a Delta flight here coming in. Flight Flight 420 coming in. And I'm way behind in the chat. Excuse me if I'm missing anything. One love, everyone. And yeah, Memorial Day. Special day. Although, war it's not a good thing. But I guess it depends. Yeah, if it's not necessary, hey, shouldn't have it going on. But it's one of those things, part of humanity, and it's going on in many places. Has gone on for a long time, and yeah. So yesterday is the day we honor those that have passed, and our family, we're not like military or anything like that, but I do have some sort of tie to. And that particular family member did pass. Yeah, it's a weird story. I probably will never talk about, but Anyway, let's jump out of here. There's a couple other cameras I want to pull up for you because I don't think we'll see a Bigfoot. You never know, but I don't think we'll see Bigfoot running across the runway here at LAX. But hey, I'm open. You know, you never know. Bigfoot might be late to a flight back up to Humboldt or something. Or maybe he's off to Washington or wherever. You know, Bigfoot's all over the place. You never know. And what is it? South Air's charging for luggage now, carry on. What's going on? All right, another incoming here. We'll just catch this other one really quick. I haven't spotted anything, but I have spotted stuff in the past days, folks. So this is a good method to do it. All right, let's switch gears. There's some other cameras where potentially Bigfoot might be. You never know. You know, it might be a airplane, airport. It might be a train. It might be a how's what a underground cave system. How is this Bigfoot travel? Portal. That's right. So let's find it here really quick. SpaceX launch. Get rid of that. All right. All right, navigator. Let's get this next camera up. So this one's an interesting one, and we're gonna go way. We'll shoot way up north really quick. And there's the name of the channel there. If anyone's interested, Pacific Sands HD Beach Cam. And if I'm not mistaken, this is on Sasquatch Island. Yes, Vancouver Island. And high on my list of places that I like to visit for Sasquatch. And if you take a notice here, actually, it reminds me of Wildman has posted a video today as well. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman. Yeah. The homie there. And, you know, he's been covering a lot of the beach structures in his area, which isn't too far, somewhere around here, Southern California. And here you have a lot of, it's like a little lumber yard of driftwood here. And I like spots like that. And yeah, I know, you know, people like to build sandcastles and, you know, bury their uh, partner or something like that in the sand with their head sticking out. How do you have fun on the beach? Some people build stuff. I get it. I've never caught them in the act, but you know, we look for these stick structures, these uh, strange creations with sometimes logs, trees, driftwood. Could throw in some rocks in there sometimes. And what up, Brian? How does Brian have fun at Venice Beach? Anyone check out that Instagram showing Venice Beach in like California getting ready for summer? I was like, is anyone ready for summer? Also, I posted a what was it this morning? I was like, can we live stream today? And I was so when you see the crying emoji, that's for crying of laughter. I mentioned I was wanting to do this yesterday, but somehow it just didn't pan out for whatever reason. But here we are. And Ninja Dave in the house. What up? Yeah, how does Brian have fun at Venice Beach? Go to the drum circle. What's for dinner tonight, Amanda? Tyler's got the munchies, and he's not making sandwiches at the moment. And I think he's probably had enough candy for now. For those that know, Amanda and Tyler were talking about sweets and candies the other day, the cost of it, the types of candy they like. It was a funny conversation. And Amanda, let's see, do we have? We might have some Chico news. So anyway, I've been checking out this cam here, and yeah, you might have some people. I noticed some people this weekend, and it looks like a few little formations there of something. Maybe people built those. I'm not sure, but I'll be watching this. All right, we got bro pulling up. I'll continue to watch this cam, even especially at night, just to see if you get anything, weird walking by, or maybe something weird hanging out. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Good live cam there. You want to do some armchair squatching? Definitely check it out, folks. And there's a few other ones that they might have going on. I know there was a few other ones that were on the beach, but this one in particular, I noticed the material there. So I was like, oh yeah, this is a good one. And I do believe Bigfoot does like going to the beach. Who doesn't like going to the beach? All right. Let's go to the next camera. And so those are YouTube channels there. And here's another interesting one I thought. Let's see, where'd you go? All right. So this one is here, Southern California, live Cajon Pass, California, Summit Silverwood cam. And this one I thought was interesting because something about that pass, those areas of the 5 freeway have my interest. And this is because of some strange reports that have come out of the Gorman area over the years. We've talked about Gorman quite a bit. And this is, I don't know, it's a little out there, it's away from the city. And you got train tracks going by, which I do believe also is a thing with Bigfoot. There's been talks of Bigfoot's being spotted. There's pictures, even one of the latest ones that most probably thought was a hoax out of Colorado. It was people in a train, right? And seeing it off to the side. There's one where it looks like it's racing a train too. Forget what state that was out of. And there's been other incidences with Bigfoot and trains. So, and these cameras are up and rolling 24/7. So you could check them out at nighttime. And of course, nighttime brings this whole other vibe. And also, Kern County has gotten a strange video out of there several years back where it was off the side of a highway. I believe might have been Highway 5, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure. And it was some power lines. We know they like to walk areas of power lines, or where there's been like clear cuts for power lines. And yeah, this object, this subject was walking along the ridge there towards the power tower. Yeah, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, tower power. And so interesting video there. And so that's, somewhat around these areas of Southern California. And so, yeah, Cajon Pass. And it's also cool to see the train roll by, of course. Right on, Amanda. let's see. Can't wait to tell a few more weeks. We'll be camping in Mount Shasta. Yes. Keep an eye out. We reported on some fires happening up that way. And one they're calling the Pluto fire. Yeah. And I'm wondering if it's maybe because it's towards Pluto's cave. Mount Shasta has an area called Pluto's cave. And I'm wondering if that's where Robot Granny made her appearance. But yeah, that's super awesome, Amanda. Best of luck and keep those cameras rolling. What else? We've been talking. Oh, we do have some Mount Shasta cams actually we've been featuring as well. We'll see if we have time to pull that up. But yeah, cool little live webcam there for you to check out if anyone's interested. Any of my SoCal heads. Peep it. Armchair squatching. Let's see what cam will we feature next? Should we do Shasta? Since we mentioned it, why not? Let's see. Where are you? Magic Mountain. Here we go. There it is. There we are up on Mount Shasta. And so I like this camera also. And remember these cameras during the day because maybe when we feature them at night, you'll have an idea of what the area looks like in the day. And sometimes also, depending on the weather, it'll affect visibility. But sometimes there's been some real clear nights, and it's just awesome to get a view of part of Mount Shasta or wherever they may have these cameras. And this one's from the Mount Shasta Resort. You can look them up online. And there's several other cameras from the Shasta area. I got another one pulled up here. I don't see this one panning anywhere. Usually some of them will pan out and zoom and all that good stuff. And a big up to Carl Casey. We got his tracks playing in the background here. Been doing an all right job of not playing commercials there. And there it is. Get your 20% off, folks. So let's peep. Oh yeah, the other Shasta cam does the time lapse of Mount Shasta, which is pretty cool too. Da, 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 da. There it is. And this is Medio Blue 84. Pretty warm up there. I would have thought, and look, there's still snow on the top of the mountain there. But 84 degrees, things heating up in that area, and we know it gets hot again. Fires popping off. I don't know what the containment is at this moment of the Pluto fire, but it wasn't much when I heard. But they were on it, and we're gonna find out the reason of the fire. I'm wondering why. Yeah, like how did that pop off? Let me see here if I could pop this open. Get back over here. All right, there we go. And there she is. Yeah, I got some news, and I think it's from a little further south, more towards the Sierras. And there it goes black because that's nighttime. There's the happy rising. I don't know what that is, some sort of culvert or the bottom of some sort of rocket. And of course, here also check for anomalies. A lot of people always report strange objects around the mountain there. And there it is. Past 24 hours, Mount Shasta. Let's run it again just in case. Tyler, make a video quick.
Tyler, make a video quick.
Smoochy being funny. What's Smoochy saying? There's Hillbilly Herb, bro. Brought the sack. Yeah. Light it up. Boom. All right. Little view of Mount Shasta there. And there's these other I guess views or camera views that they have that are also just stills. And I think you could run those stills like time lapses as well. And it's of the certain, I'm sure, Highway 5, Interstate 5, and some of the surrounding roads in the Mount Shasta area, which is also good to keep an eye out for any lurking squatches or crossing squatches. You know what I'm saying? Because you know they be up there. Granny, Robot Granny, the Count of Saint Germain. All right, no commercials. 88 and Chico. Yeah, I don't even think we're that warm here today. Let me give you a weather report. Boyle Heights. And let me tell you, Boyle Heights is boiling. 73. But it's hot for other reasons. Let's see here. Let's head up to the Sierras really quick because there is a couple news reports that I want to touch on. Placer County, I believe, California. And here we got the Yosemite Conservancy webcams. Yeah, let's go ahead and head up to the High Sierra cam really quick and see what's popping up that way. All right, you're not playing for us? What's going on here? All right, we'll start at Yosemite Falls right quick. Some eye candy for you. Yeah, so Placer County, we've talked about, safety the other one of the last streams. When you go out, we were talking about this guy that was attacking people up on Mount Baldy. We were mentioning what to take when you go out squatching, hiking, camping, fishing, or going to catch fish, or whatever you do out in the woods. There's certain precautions you should take, safety measures, and there's with the weather heating up, people going out into nature and exploring, doing whatever people do, and people do get into trouble. And so a lot of the rescues are starting out here in Southern California, San Bernardino area, stuff already making the news, people going missing already. Yeah. So we'll check out these news reports out of Placer County here. See if we could pull them up. I did want to check on High Sierra right quick. And again, Yosemite here, 24-hour live stream cams. And I've been checking them out, checking for any, of course, taking in the beauty, but checking for high strangeness as well. Let's see, how do we get, we'll just cut out of here. Bam. All right. So news reports out of California. Let's do this. Where you at? Here we go. Oh yeah, they're gonna hide on me now. Let's see. Jeopardy music. Yeah, of course I can't find them now, right? We will get them up here. Let's see. Oh yeah, of course. Yep. There we go. Took me a minute. I was like, where did I put this stuff? So as you can see here, had it lined up for yesterday. So there's some reports over the weekend. And let's get into let's see. Yeah, let's do this one right quick. Get a little volume here.
We're going to begin.
Oh, what happened? We're going to begin
with the true story of survival after two hikers had to be rescued in Placer County.
The pair running out of food and losing sight of the trail, having to stay overnight until rescue crews could get to them. Officials say they are certainly lucky to be alive thanks to their GPS device.
The reporter.
So they made it. So great story. Not a tragic one. And they had some sort of GPS device. So we talked about that, the transponder, the spot device, having one of those. And we also mentioned that nowadays a lot of the newer cell phones got the SOS feature. So definitely look into that.
We're covering Placer County. Brady Haubleib joining us live with the details on this one and really the message to the public, Brady.
Yeah, guys, a very scary situation here. Yeah, the sheriff's office says that these two hikers lost the trail in a remote area just outside of Forest Hill, but thankfully they did have a device to call for help.
There it is. They had a device. The device comes into play. Yes. And it's good news to hear that these things are working. And let's see if they mention what they were using.
County Sheriff's Office releasing this video showing a helicopter crew rescuing two hikers near Mumford Bar Trail about 20 miles northeast of Forest Hill.
Because of that emergency alert, it included the location. We were able to figure out what their location is.
The sheriff's office says the two hikers were in a remote area, lost the trail, and ran out of food. And that's when they called for help. In a series of
luckily, they had a phone service, too, to make a phone call. It's recommended by Politis to have a sat phone. But this time that we went up into the Angeles National Forest, the night we got that therm footage, my nephew was showing me how to send messages, because we had no service up there, how to send messages via satellite. So for some of you that don't know how to do that, you might want to figure that out. And he was showing us there on the video. So we put that on video. He was showing us how to use it. And that's another awesome feature. If you don't have a a satellite phone.
Messages dispatched instructed them to shelter in place overnight, while the sheriff's office assembled a search and rescue team.
Volunteers were able to reach them, but due to the area, they were cold, they were tired. We determined it was best to go ahead and just hoist them out using our Falcon 30 helicopter.
The hikers are safe, but it could have been a lot worse.
If there's a problem,
Yeah, about 80K, 100K for that helicopter ride. I think.
there's no way out except just to keep going.
Longtime hiker Michael Kutzman knows these trails well and says that they can be dangerous for the inexperienced.
And there's a sprained ankle or a rattlesnake or something like that, then that's why and there's a lot of areas where there's no cell contact.
The sheriff's office says that this serves as a reminder to always be prepared by having food and water that can last you at least 24 hours, be educated on where you're hiking, have proper shoes and clothing, and always let someone know where you're going and when you'll return.
You heard?
Knowing what you're getting into before you go and do something is paramount.
And if you do plan on going to some of these more remote areas, it's a good idea to have a GPS tracking system, because if it wasn't for that, it could have been a very different outcome for these hikers, guys.
That's out, King. Yeah. So that safety. And thank goodness that everything worked out for them, because that could have gone south really quick. All right. There's a couple other news reels I'd like to pull up here. Let's see if we could pull that off. Here we go. Should have just done it while I was there. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. Bless up. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's see.
After 2 days of searching, crews have recovered the body of a man who went missing at Hellhole Reservoir. Officials say the man had been fishing with a friend Thursday evening when one of them fell into the water. The missing man jumped in to help, but never made it back to shore. His friend did.
So not sure if you caught the name of that. And, that's a thing we talk about a lot, the names of places, especially with, what is it? What's up, bro? Oh, shit. Whoa. I don't know if y'all heard that. Dude came in, asked about two crazy girls. I didn't see them. And he said that they jacked them. Telling y'all, this dude, pretty big dude. I wouldn't mess with that guy. Hopefully the mic picked that up. All right, what the heck was I doing here? Yes. Telling you, that door open. You never know what's gonna pop off. That sucks. Hellhole Reservoir. Here we go.
But he wasn't able to call for help until the next morning. On Saturday, Placer County's dive team found the body, believed to be his.
So that was an unfortunate one there, and prayers out to the fam there. But what is it with these places, with these names, and it's a water source as well, so it's pretty interesting. All right, homeboys back in here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so I don't know. They didn't give much details on that, and I will see if David Politis makes a report on that. Here we go. We got another customer in here. Couple people in here. Yeah. So, all right, brother. Yeah. Bless up, man. All right. So that was sounded like the Sierras there. Whole lot of going on in the shop here. I'm like just keeping an eye on things, trying to keep the ship afloat here. All right. We also have some news from Northern California, but more towards the coast and actually inland from where these this rescue was taking place. So more towards Mendocino County. So we've been talking about Mendocino a whole lot lately. And for those that are not up to speed, we've done several live streams touching on Northern California, talking about Mendocino County and surrounding areas. And this came up this weekend as well. Let's see here. Where'd you go? So I'm digging through my history. Well, I see Smoke and Scan is on. Do we got a speed chase or what's going on? Or is it just Taco Tuesday crime wave party with Smoke and Scan? See, this is that chase yesterday. Y'all get to see my history here. See what I was watching. There we go.
Sheriff's search and rescue teams saving two brothers who were lost in the Mendocino National Forest. Today, we heard from them on what went into the operation. Now, here's the backstory. Sergeant John Owen says Ivan and Alan Rodriguez were planning to camp their way down the state to family in Southern California. They'd already camped the night of January 5th in Shasta County.
All right. So, yeah, that got my interest because I was like, all right, so they had previously camped in Shasta. Were making their way. They're going to make their way down the state, from what I hear, which is pretty hardcore. Camp their way down through the state. And then, so from Shasta County, and that's not where Mount Shasta is. Mount Shasta is in Siskiyou County. But Shasta, so I'm trying to think. And I was like, oh, the Bigfoot Trail came to mind. And we showed that map recently. And we'll check it out again because something told me maybe they were on the Bigfoot Trail.
Sergeant Owens says they followed Google Maps into Mendocino National Forest, camping there on January 6th. But the next day, they ran into areas impacted by the 2020 August complex fire, which has not been maintained since. By the afternoon of the 7th, the brothers were stuck. The sheriff's office say they probably only survived the next 4 days because of their wilderness experience.
So luckily, they made it as well. And due to wilderness experience, so, it's good to, catch up on things as far as these safety pinpoints. We mentioned these devices and just other basic things that you could do that will put you up on game in your wilderness skills. I think, and some of it sounds kind of corny and stuff, but it's worth doing for sure.
Lucky that they had enough food and that they understood how to get water. They would boil water from the stream.
Owen says after.
Really quick, no, that was not Lou Elizondo, folks. All right.
One of the brothers found a cell signal on Friday the 10th. They were able to get an Apple SOS notification to the sheriff's office.
There you go.
Two
again.
teams totaling 10 personnel and a drone were activated.
Did you hear that? They were able to get an Apple SOS notification. Yeah, man, bless up. Yeah, that guy is giving a lot of blessings. Looks like an interesting character too. I'm telling you, there's certain people I could tell by the way he was dressed, his tattoos, his manners. You could tell that dude is somebody. I mean, we're all somebody, right? But something about him, I could tell he's doing something.
They had to clear dozens of trees from roads to get in and out of the area. They located Alan near his vehicle that afternoon, and then on Saturday, a more intensive search located Ivan.
All right, so good news on that front there, and local California news, I guess you could say, West Coast news there, Cali, and these devices coming through to save the day. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Even if you got maybe it's time for you to get a new phone. I don't know how many people I talk to, and they, even my dad, I'm like, dude, you got to get a new phone, bro. I mean, I can't buy it, but you should get it. Get that new phone, get that new device. It's worth it. Just for those features. That's the main thing. That's the main thing I got this, the 15 for, was just to have that SOS feature. Let's get some a little more sound here, sound man. Yeah, I'm telling you, traffic hour here. Almost 6 o'clock here. Sky's the limit smoke shop. And there's the mailman. Thank you, bro. Speaking of mail, you got mail. Someone is gonna have some mail here soon. Let's see. Who's on tonight? Anybody on yet? Let me check here. And yeah, feel free to share out the channel. Hey, we're almost We're about to hit 11K soon. And 9K over on the TikTok. Any TikTokers out there ain't following me yet? Give me a follow. I'll follow back. Especially if you got content. If you want that follow back, I'm all about it. Tech support. Oh yeah, we got a police chase, y'all. Smoking scan. What the hell? 36 minutes ago. Did I miss it in the chat? Damn. Yeah, this is probably gonna bleed into maybe even later tonight. Yeah, now let's get into these Bigfoot reports. We missed the chase. All good. I'm sure they'll be. Summer hasn't even started. All right, just wait till summer. It'll be nonstop. And it feels like it's been nonstop already. There was like 6 this weekend. One, I think 2 of them were fatal, or one of them was. One of them is in critical condition at the moment from 2 different chases. And here we go. Let's see. Bigfoot mapping project. It's got, looks like 3 new reports submitted. My vlog, what's up? Ike. Charlotte is no fun either. Ha. I'm telling you, it's creeping everywhere. Even like this, it sucks. The small towns, and it's just like, darn, you can't get away from it. The madness is everywhere. But it's all good. We do our thing. We play our role. Try to do right as much as possible. Don't get caught up in those shenanigans. And do what we do. Stay prayed up. Do our work, our inner work, our outer work. Keep those Irie vibes. And when we say Irie in the Caribbean, meaning good vibes, not eerie, although I believe it's spelled the same. All right, so new reports here. It looks like we got a new report out of possibly Wisconsin and Kentucky. I thought we had read those, but Houston looks like near Houston there for sure. So we'll start with this Texas one here. It's got a green light on it. Let's zoom on in. Let's see here. Yeah, Houston, not too far. And it says here 3/31/2017. So several years back, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And as far as height, it says 6.5 foot. Male. So they must have seen something. Right? I would imagine. Or maybe it sounded a certain way. Let's see here. The encounter occurred in the southern part of East Texas, Davy Crockett National Forest. Hey, heard of stuff coming out of there. Where else? Sam Houston, Big Thicket. Where else they at in Texas? What is it? Cow Pond? Is it something like that? Cow Pond. Anyway, it says first let's begin with the lay of the land. All right. Yeah, give us that. It says here a railroad. There we go. We're talking about the railroad. Let's see what it says. Sorry, I'm getting excited here. We're talking about the train tracks a little earlier. A railroad once ran between Groverton. Did I say that? Did I say that right? Groverton and Lufkin, and the remnants of a berm associated with the railroad remain here and there. While I was on private property, the land falls within the National Forest boundary. A token amount is paid to the Forest Service annually for its use. This section, where the old berm is fairly prominent, lies between FM 3154 and Jim Butler Road, just northwest of Groverton. Is this section there are two small ponds along the east side of the old railroad berm and a creek or a creek that's often dry is on the berm's west side. The strip is heavily wooded and abounds with wildlife. The use of the berm as a game trail. On that note, I've set up the game cameras there and captured images of possums, raccoons, squirrel, deer, bobcat, foxes, coyotes, and wild hogs, but no Bigfoot. Continued. And it says, did you see any little ones? Nope. No footprints, no wood knocks. It says additional comments. Geez Louise. There's a whole lot of additional comments here if anyone's interested in the rest of this report, because I'm not going to read that right now. Yeah, if they get too long, I'm just like, hold up. We ain't gonna do this right now like this. And so we'll run down to the color here. It says brown with Irish setter highlights. All right. Yeah, so quite extensive report there out of Texas. And I just wanted to double check these really quick over here. Let's check out Kentucky. I'm watching that mute button too. Watching the iPad, make sure I don't cut to commercials, and I'm watching that mute button just in case. You know how it likes to sneak up on me and mute me. Anyway, this Kentucky report, I thought we had read this out of Kentucky. It says 5/22/2025, 9 a.m., 7-footer. It says it appeared black. Yeah, it's hard to tell, huh? It says a friend and I were on our way to her mother's to stay the night. We drove up in something huge crossing. Yeah, we read this. Yep. We got this one. So I guess it's just a Texas report because this is Wisconsin one that we had tapped in on Wisconsin. Let's see. Let me briefly read it right quick. Yeah, I think we did this Wisconsin one. But you know what? BFRO does have a new report submitted as well. So let's go ahead and tap into that while we're at it. Un momento. Let's see what's the time here. 6 o'clock. We'll be wrapping things up here in a minute. BFRO, where you at? And we're going to continue the stream because we tapped into some those news reels, one of them out of Mendocino. We had some out of Placer County, and I have more stuff, some Bigfoot related, other crime, true crime related, pertaining to the areas. I'm telling you, this stream could roll on for several hours. It won't do you like that. All right, BFRO, where you at? It's hiding. Here it is. So we'll go to recently submitted or added reports there. You could see reports posted since May 1st, 2025. We've read the past 3. And I noticed one yesterday, and it's one from September 1998, Washington, Yakima. It's a Class A, and daughter see a Sasquatch cross the road near White Pass ski area. There you go. We were just checking out some of these ski resort cams, and I have more. I have one out of Big Bear. I have some out of Mount Hood, Mount Rainier, Ready to Rock, but we won't be checking all that out. But I'm keeping them there in rotation. When I go live, we'll be tapping into them. Hopefully, maybe even tonight, we'll maybe do some nighttime armchair squatching there. But let's see here. Let's go ahead and click this report. It's not too bad. Making sure you can see it there. And it's report 78640, Class A, submitted by witness on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, father and daughter, like we said. Year 1998, season fall, month September, date the 12th, Washington, Yakima County, location details, Highway 12, near where the PCT, Pacific Crest Trail, crosses. And, you know, that's, of course, PCT comes up a lot. Actually, we've been to areas down here. I've been shown areas down here, found structures, or was shown structures very much near the PCT. Also, a spot that I go to up in Southern Oregon. We were talking about some area where someone had gone mysteriously missing, an area where there's a lake and where I pick mushrooms, which are popping up right now. And PCT actually runs through there as well. Yep. Yeah, keep an eye out if you're in the West Coast. See how far, if you have a spot, how far that is from the PCT. I'm sure they use that trail as well to get up and down. Might as well. Bless up, bro. Yeah. The homie right there. Yeah, active day today here at the shop. Pretty busy. Super cool. And here we go. Let's see. Observed. It is early fall or late summer around 1998. My daughter and I were driving west on Highway 12 going to our cabin. Awesome. In Packwood. It's funny. There's a brand of like cigars, blunts, and stuff like that called Packwoods. There's Backwoods and Packwoods. It was late, probably midnight or 1 a.m. As I recall. It wasn't, and I think I want to say there's a RA and it cuts off there. So I don't know. Oh, here we go. It wasn't raining. I was going to guess that. You know, I like to guess in my reading. Sometimes I'll say words that aren't even there, but no, I would have been right that time. It wasn't raining, but it was a dark night, either overcast or no moon. Just before we hit the top of the pass, probably right around where the Pacific Crest Trail crosses the highway, something ran across the road in front of us, about 100 yards in front of us. It crossed from the right side of the road to the left side. I think it took, just like many people report, and just like I reported in Trinidad, seeing this subject walk across the road. It's a big road, and yeah, it seems like only a few steps. So this 3 or 4 long steps and was across the road. My daughter thinks it was at least 7 feet tall. Whoa. It was covered in hair, but difficult to say what color as it was dark out. It walked across the road upright on 2 legs. We joked that maybe it was a bear. But bears don't walk on 2 legs, and sometimes they do. I've seen them kind of do that, and I've seen them do quite a lot of things that could be that people might think, oh, well, Bigfoot did that, but no, bears do some weird stuff. They have seen them bend trees, and so, but bears don't walk on 2 legs. Honestly, I was more focused on the right shoulder of the road when the animal crossed the road. Often another one will follow. The elk I've barely missed hitting while driving at night have always been the second or third ones to cross. Yeah, it happens with the deer too. I remember slowing down but saw nothing else. He crossed in front of us quickly and was gone. We didn't give it a lot of thought at the time, but we both remembered the event the same to this day. How awesome. You and your daughter. Other witnesses too, driving westbound on Highway 12. Yeah, so I talk about my sighting in Trinidad going southbound on 101, that when I got onto the on-ramp of the freeway, there was already 3 or 4 cars, it seemed like, ahead of me. So I'm thinking they must have seen it. I thought they were going to, stop and honk, or maybe an accident would happen. I don't know, but none of that happened. Let's see, time and condition, 12 a.m. They said it was dark. Typical Cascade Fir Forest. And then there was a follow-up there by BFRO investigator Scott Taylor. And you could check out the follow-up there. And there's a map. Let's see, does that show anything? I don't see anything. Oh, yeah, right there in the... Zoom in on that. You can see the report right there. And of course, big old water source nearby. And plenty of cover. Love Cannon Beach. Saw that, Smoochie. Hotter than a van full of sweaty fat chicks. I'm fighting over the last chicken wing. Fighting. Oh, yeah. And that was Tyler saying that. I was just repeating it. What up, Tate? There he is. Senor Tate. Just reading off some Bigfoot reports here, bro. Pow, pow, that's what Tate brings. Yeah, Tate. A lot of rescues happening out here in the West Coast. So we're just talking some safety precautions and touching on some newsreel that we're reporting on these incidences. And just thought I'd tap in with everyone and say what's up, hang out a little bit while we're here at the shop. We're about to wrap things up here and shut her down. I don't know. Who knows? Bro might stay overtime. He does that sometimes, but yeah, no, we're gonna head on over to the crib. Maybe catch up on a few things there. But like I said, I could continue this because there are some other reports. I've shown some reports out of Mendocino that I know I didn't read off, and it's quite an extensive one also. So we'll touch on that. Let me show you that really quick. Show that again. We showed it on, I think, the other night. Let's see here. Yeah, I want to wish everyone a good week also. And where are you at? Bigfoot report, Mendo. Who else mentioned? Someone mentioned Mendocino recently also it was in the STM, Small Town Monster, recent documentary of Cliff's Place, Cliff's Museum, what is it? Tate, I could say it. I'm downloading it right now. North American. Come on, someone could finish it off. The North American. Now I'm testing y'all. Threw it back on y'all out there. Bigfoot Research Center, is it? All right, Mendocino Bigfoot report. You're not pulling up. Oh, because it's a Lost Coast outpost. No wonder. Here we go. I see. Here we go. Sorry about that. So redheaded black belt, and this is a throwback Bigfoot report out of Mendocino. And you can see there, it walked hunched, a deer hunter's encounter with Bigfoot in the Mendocino County mountains 49 years ago. And so maybe we'll read this one later on. But yeah, we're keeping on the vibe of Mendocino. So the STM documentary, North American Bigfoot Center, check it out, y'all. And go support Cliff and his amazing Bigfoot museum up there in Oregon. Yeah, it was, who were they interviewing? They were interviewing one of the guys that helped build the museum, and he was talking about him and Cliff meeting up and doing some possible like Bigfooting or something like that up in Mendocino. Anyway, Mendocino came up with those guys, and it was cool to hear that. Digger Dog in the chat was like, "Oh, there goes Mendocino again." He was like, "I was just up there this weekend or something like that," because Digger Dog's in Sonoma County, right under Mendocino. So he's right there. And then Diesel just being consistent, dropping them like they're hot. Videos, you name it, timestamps. And it's all his It's all his. Yeah. Yeah, Diesel's another one of those channels, bro. Keep doing your thing, Diesel. I know something major is gonna happen. You got the formula down. You're on it. You got that vision, the sight. You got the vibe. Salute to you. And yeah, go check out Wildman's new. I like his intro. Anyone check out Wildman, Sovereign Cosmic Wildman's latest video? He has a new intro. Maybe someone will drop his link. Checking out some structures in his area, and he's got his formula down too, and pointing out certain things. And these how would you say, these themes keep reoccurring, and so they are a thing, you know, that we look for. You know, some of them are, for example, burnt pieces of wood being in and around structures and stuff. And it's not like, oh, they had a bonfire and I don't know, or maybe they did, but it seems to be a thing. You know, a lot of us find these structures, and a lot of times a burnt piece of wood will be there or will be incorporated into the structure somehow. Yeah, little things like that. And there's, you know, we've talked about it a lot. But yeah, you'll see it a lot in my videos and in their videos. Obviously, I haven't been out in a minute. Haven't found anything since last year or so, since our last trip up north. But and SoCal is different. I mean, it's out here. You got to know where to go. You got to, you know, and I haven't dialed anything in too much as far as finding structures in the area, but I've been shown them before out here. There's been little things I've found, but yeah, the main thing is that weird therm footage. And who knows, I was actually thinking it could have been that weird guy that was recently arrested up in Mount Baldy attacking people. I was like, dude, that's creepy. There has been some dude up there lurking, and you know, who knows? Maybe it was that dude. Got him on therm. But no, it's weird because my nephew did also see something else later that night that he talked about and shared. So yeah, very strange situation there. But yeah, keep an eye out in the field, folks. Keep an eye out in the concrete jungle, because things are popping off. And yeah, it's important to keep yourself safe. Let's see. Lavera does not fear the natural. I fear humans coming into camp while alone. Yeah, that is creepy. I'm telling you, I'm mentioning this dude, and I can't imagine Rift Lake area. I don't know. I'm not sure, Magneticus. Are you familiar with that report there? Maybe you know some of that area. Like I had this ready to pop up also. We were talking Mendocino. Some of these reports, and another one really quick. Some of you may recognize this one. And it's this case of Thomas Thurston, who went missing out of Cow Mountain. This made the Can-Am Missing Project, Dave Politis's channel, and his project over there, Missing 411. This is, according to Dave, this is one of those cases, and he covered it. So you could find it over on his channel somewhere. And it's not recent. This has been a while. But since we're talking Mendocino, this is one of the cases that pop into mind and that I had ready to dive into. And very mysterious. And then also I had heard from, it was another YouTuber, I think it was, that had brought to the conversation that he has seen stuff in the sky, like weird objects around the Ukiah area and a little bit inland. So this is, I believe, I forget if it was, let's see, east of Ukiah. Cow Mountain. Anyone been up there? Anyone know Cow Mountain? Anyone know of this case? Yeah, pretty strange one. And yeah, look into it. If you're into the strange missing persons cases, and I don't believe he's been, there's nothing's been found. It's been a long time. And still no word yet with this one. And even the previous cases we've been covering, I know the one with the two little brother and sister out of Nova Scotia. Dave also finally covered that one. I'm sure he was keeping an eye on it. And it seemed like when we were covering it, it seemed like some of the crowd seemed like it was pointing towards possibly criminal. And yeah, don't forget, let's see if this works. Does that work? You working? There you go. But now, according to Dave, he's done a little dive on that case as well. And it just seems kind of weird. So we're still watching that, and there hasn't been any updates on that. Or the older lady out of San Mateo. So odd stuff happening, and it seems like these cases are ramping up. And again, of course, with the people heading out into nature, I'm sure we were going to be hearing a lot more things happening. And so again, safety first, right? That's what they teach us. And your boy BD here reminding you again, Flat Six, what up, brother? Thank you for tapping in. Even at night, the other night, I seen Flat Six. We're up a little late, and Flat Six came through with the 6-pack. Yeah. Oh yeah, they thought Travis was a criminal. And Travis has been making the rounds. Who ran in? Who's been hanging out with Travis? I heard some of you out. I forget who it was that hung out with Travis or seen Travis recently. I know Travis has been doing the rounds. I was just fascinated by the movie Fire in the Sky when it came out. I know my brother was too. When it came out, we were like, whoa. But we know Hollywood, they spice it up, change things up, edit, and make it their way. But that was a very powerful movie. I think got me more into the subject, freaked me out. But yeah, I'll never forget that story. Travis Walton, and it's a trip to see him around. I haven't seen him in person, but he's making the rounds out there. No accident in safety, says Magneticus. Super South. All right, about to hit 6:30 in 10 minutes. Let's have one more view here or something. Let's see. Let's head up to the Redwoods right quick. And this is MPS, National Park Service website. And I was able to find these. Again, they're still shots, but it's all good. So look, Del Norte County up in the Redwoods, Jedediah Smith Redwood State Park. So they got a cam there, which is super cool. And so you can come tap in and see, I think it takes, I forget, if not all the cameras, it's like, what is it, every 6 minutes or something like that? I think it was. I'm not sure. And Jedediah, that's the only NorCal spot that I've heard of a Dogman report with a picture. I bring it up all the time as far as that's about the only Dogman stuff I had heard of really when I was living up that way. I've heard people mentioning things here and there, but not so much. It's mainly more Bigfoot, right? But there is a picture. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's several years back, and maybe you could find it. I know, who was it? Matt Squatch. His channel, you can find that. a breakdown of it there with picture, and that's out of this state park here. And yeah, I don't know. You can zoom in. Maybe you can find a timestamp up in there. You never know. Never know. And so this is another cool one I've been peeping out. And they also have, let's see. Return to previous camera. One's towards the beach. Here's Elk Prairie at Prairie Creek Redwood State Park. And that's a nice little view there too of the wood line. And I think the wood line is one of those places too that you want to, scan for timestamps. It's I think they like to blend in at wood lines. Diesel says nope. And not to what I'm saying. Maybe it is, but I don't know what he's saying nope to. What you saying nope to, Diesel? And there's Fast Hammy. What up, Fast Hammy? Where you been at? Did you just we got our Jersey peeps up in the house. Much love to Nueva Jersey. And so yeah, we'll be featuring these cameras again. Maybe next time we'll head up to Rainier and see what's happening in Washington. A lot of snow up that way. But, I think it's one of those things. I'm like, I don't know. How do they do it? Be able to run around naked in the snow. Anyone have any ideas? Is it something, maybe their hair grows thicker, longer? Maybe the cold doesn't affect them. Do they feel cold? Do they feel heat? Makes me wonder. All right. Let's wrap it up, roll it up, twist it up, and light it up. Boom. There we go. Fireworks. Perfect. I don't know how I did that. I got to learn how to do the fireworks again. I'll check out that gesture that I just did. And Fast Hemi, yeah, get a hold of Diesel there. Yeah, you guys should be hanging out or doing some sort of business. You're both in New Jersey. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Lavera. Safely deployed fireworks. We've been talking about the fireworks situation out here. It's getting stupid. But yeah. At that show we're talking about, the cops are there. Cop cars got spray painted and all this stuff. Got one of these dudes walking by. Steve, keep an eye out. This one dude lights a mean firework and chucks it towards the cops and a bunch of cars, and nothing happens. And then kaboom! And I was like, dude, that's just wrong, stupid, dangerous, not funny. And there's Jessica Jones. Salute to you, Jessica. We're about to roll up out of here. Hopefully you got to check out some of it. Read a few Bigfoot reports recently submitted. Peep it out. Got Popo rolling by. Yeah, much love, everyone. We out of here for sure.